What's up, you beauties? Welcome into episode 6 of Broad Street Broadcast. I'm Travis Ballinghoff here with my boy Kevin Beatty. Kevin, how we doing tonight?
I'm living the dream, my friend. We are so close. Everyone, we're almost there. 2 more games. We are so close. Oh, God, it's a great feeling.
I know this season can't be over any sooner. How has your past week been? Anything fun? Anything good going on?
You know what? It's, just kind of chilling right now. You know, I, there's Phillies are doing good for the night. Sixers ain't doing too good recently. Flyers are the Flyers. Um, yeah, it's
Eagles
just
draft
getting ready.
soon. just
Yeah,
taking another bust wide receiver, I'm sure.
just this shit setting up for another disappointment.
So you said
Uh,
we got 2 more games left in the season. Anything you're looking to see?
um, Not particularly. I don't. We can get into it more later on. I want to see the kids kind of continue.
Mhm.
Um, if they, I mean, most importantly, I want to see 2 more losses. But I was angry with them for beating Pittsburgh, but I mean, it was Pittsburgh, so I can't be too mad. Um, but yeah, I'm looking for kids to play well and for them to lose. So there's nothing too much. I don't know about like there's not really much else I can go with that. I don't think. They beat Montreal, which like
Sucked. That was not good.
it was not
That was
good,
worst
but
case scenario.
was worst case scenario. But you know what? We're still. I'm looking at the standings right now. We're still 3 points ahead of Seattle, and Seattle has 2 games in hand on us. So we might make it out all right. We could drop into the bottom 3. Um,
I hope.
but I'm hoping. I did look at their schedule for the next couple days, and it's hard. It's hard.
Seattle's?
Yeah, it's bad. Hold on, let me see.
Oh.
They play. Um, so I mean, they might be able to pull it off tonight. They're playing Vancouver, but I am much higher on Vancouver than most people. I think
They've
they got
been
a
very
nice,
good ever since Bruce took over.
yeah. So I think that'll be a loss. LA is kind of hit or miss for me. Um, and then San Jose, who's coming off there, I feel like they're high right now because they knocked Vegas out of the playoffs. Um, and then Winnipeg, which again hit or miss.
Yeah, we
So
got Winnipeg tomorrow night.
yeah. So you know what? It's fine. We're fine. It's great. So
I
I'm hoping. I think they could pull ahead of us, and I'm really hoping that they do. Um, but it's too close right now. We need to lose for this to work. We need to lose to get into the top 3. Um,
Yep.
so like I said, that I'm just looking for losses at this point. That's all I'm looking for.
I guess we'll jump into the biggest news story that we've heard over the past week, and that was about the Ryan Ellis situation. So about a month ago, I heard that he has a hip injury. Well, let me say this: I've heard hip, I've heard groin, I've heard heel, and I've heard core. And this past week, Anthony DeMarco and NRD kind of confirmed that. And they also said he's not with the team. I can confirm that as well. He hasn't been with the team for the past month. There's lots of rumors going around that he doesn't want to be with the team. I used to see him in the press box every night, and that hasn't happened. And I think it's kind of well known in the Flyers fan base that he wasn't at Picture Media Day. Picture, what do they call that? Picture
Team picture.
Team Picture Day, whatever they call that. He
Yeah.
wasn't there for that, and a lot of people tried making an excuse. Maybe he had a doctor's appointment. No, he's not in town. He wants nothing to do with the Flyers. So what were your thoughts on that?
Um. So I mean, I'll admit I was one of those fans like, oh, you know what? Maybe he's out of town, getting looked at by the doctor. Um. But after seeing all these reports, I hadn't realized that he was out of town for so long. Um. I I mean, I can't really say I blame him if he doesn't want to be with the team. You know, they've kind of butchered his whole situation and really haven't been able to do much to kind of help him. And the team sucks, so I mean, I really wouldn't want to be around him either. And if I had any kind of excuse, I might take it. But um, I mean, you can't just literally this season. You cannot get any worse luck. You had to get rid of your franchise player, um, franchise great, franchise legend Claude Giroux, your supposed number one
I thought you were talking about
defenseman.
Justin Braun.
Oh yeah, sorry, I know. Whew, I was actually talking about Derek Brassard. Um, but yeah, and then you lose your top D man to injury like 4 games into the season, and then he comes. Sorry, he for like 2 games of the season. Then he comes back, plays 2 games, and then he's done. So they said I can't say I really blame him. If he's really this upset about it, but it is like I said, it's really unfortunate for the team because you really can't win right now with on any kind of level.
What worries me is that nobody really seems to know what the heck the injury is. Like, I've heard 4 different things. Anthony DeMarco's
Yep.
heard 3 different things. It's like, is it all of this, or is it just no
Yeah.
one can seem to figure out what it is? Because they're keeping this very hush hush, and nobody seems to want to talk about it, which is it's pretty worrisome.
Yeah. And I think that's also a part of um why he's having this grudge, I'll say. Is because they don't know what's going on with him. They can't figure it. Or if the very least, if they have figured it out and won't say anything, I don't know what was obviously like you and I aren't in the room, so we can't determine whether or not he's just being stubborn or the team's not doing what they have to do. Um, but it's been a rough year for the medical staff, I'll say, to say the least.
Hmm.
You had Kevin Hayes had to get 3 surgeries for the same issue, all in the same year. You had Ryan Ellis, Derek Brassard was struggling to come back. There's just all these issues, and man, like you literally they could not win with anything. So I can't, like I said, I can't say I blame them if that's the reason. They're definitely, um, there's definitely merit to those claims if that's the reason, but man, I got nothing as to like what's going on with them.
Like, what if he's not good by training camp next year? Like,
That's assuming he goes to training camp next year.
yeah,
Like
that's
we can't
true.
even get
That's
it.
true.
If we can't get him to come and take a damn picture, what makes you think he's going to come to training camp? Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't like. I honestly don't. If they're able to figure out whatever the hell's wrong with him, I'll say by the end of the week, and they have a procedure. I still don't think he's ready to go for training camp, whatever it is. He's gonna spend the whole month, the whole off season rehabbing. He's not going to be training, getting ready for the season. So I don't know, man. Even if he does, even if they do figure out, even if they do mend these fences, I don't think he's going to be ready to go for training camp, and
Yeah,
that's just going to
I
make the fan base go even crazier because they people want to see life from Ryan Ellis now, and if they don't see him at the start of training camp, then it's just going to make matters worse.
yeah, that's gonna be tough to say because, like, just listening to what Chuck Fletcher said the past couple of months, it's like, we're trying to rehab it. We don't want to do surgery. We're debating surgery. So if I had to guess, that's where I think the holdup is. Like, one side wants surgery, the other one wants to avoid surgery. That would be my guess.
That would make sense, and maybe that's another reason why Ellis is having these issues with the organization. If he wants to have surgery to fix whatever's going on, and the team won't let him, then what really can you do?
Yeah,
So
it's tough because if he's on your top pair next year, and who knows if they aggressive retool, rebuild, we don't know. Sounds like they're going to aggressive retool, but like if you're trying to compete next year and he could be a really, really, really impactful player on your top pair. And we've said that all last offseason. And
Yeah. If they actually plan on competing next year, they need him back. Or they need to move on from him and get something back that can replace him. Like, I don't agree that that's the best move right now. Honestly, I would get rid of him purely for the tanking aspect, put out the worst defensive core you can, and just tell the fan base, hey
resign
man.
Yandel.
I honestly don't even think
If
he
you're
would
trying
come
to
back.
tank.
If you're trying to tank, I'm all for it. But like, honestly, he's got a bad rep. I think he's not a defensive stud. We know this. You put him on your power play, and maybe you can create some offense out of him, or you put him on the penalty kill, and then just like, all right, yeah, just bring on the goals, just bring them on.
I didn't realize he led the team in power play points.
That is sad. That is very sad because he barely played on the power play this year, and yet they still wouldn't let him play.
Yep.
But yeah, you know what? It is what it is. I mean, you and I have said on numerous occasions that this aggressive retool we just don't think is going to work. I am of the firm belief that any kind of changes you have to make in the offseason, even like there is such a slim chance, that you can get this aggressive retool thing right. And even if you make all the right moves, there's still a chance that, just life is going to screw them. And, because the hockey gods hate Philly, apparently. It's rough, man. It's a rough life of a
I'm
Flyers
crossing
fan.
my fingers that someone comes up to the realization up there, and then they clean house, and Dave Scott's gone, and Valerie and Chuck and Brent Flair and all.
Yeah,
Fingers are
get rid of
crossed,
them all.
man. Fingers are
Honestly,
crossed.
I like, if all that happened, I'd be okay with keeping Chuck for a bit. I've honestly I've liked the moves that he's made in the moment that he's made them. I don't think they've worked out for him, but I like the Jake trade. Makes sense. They want to move on. They bring in a goal scorer. It worked out. In the moment, the Ellis deal was phenomenal. You get rid of Phil Myers, you get rid of Nolan Patrick, and you get a number one defenseman out of it. Great, awesome. Not really the only move that I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Is giving up a first round pick for Risto.
Yeah.
Other than that, honestly, he hasn't been that bad of a GM. He's actually done very good with drafting. He got his Cam York. He got his Bobby Brink. Tyson Forster. You got all these. They're. I've liked what he's done so far.
I'm not ready to go down that route until I see these guys play a couple years in the.
And that's fair.
That's
totally. That's totally fair because we did that during the whole Hextall era.
Yeah.
And we kind of built these guys up in our heads. Ivan Provorov's going to be a number one defenseman. Travis Sanheim's going to be a number two. Samuel Moran's going to be a top four defenseman.
The next Pronger.
The next Prong. Oh my god. Yeah, for sure. It's like I said, you are 100% right. But so far I'm not 100% against him. I get, I think most of it's coming from, Philly fans are just mad and they're looking for someone to blame. And
I will say that off season after the bubble was terrible.
Yes, and I do think, but I kind of got his logic though. Like, you had a team that, besides the pandemic, was like on pace to win the division. Like, and then you just come back and you're terrible in the bubble, but you can chalk that up to just losing momentum. Like, I can understand the thought process of, hey, we had a really good team last year. Let's just run it back with the same guys. And it was a gamble and it didn't pay off. And that's kind of what, his tenure has been. I don't want to say like some of the moves he's made have been gambles, but because honestly, no, who the hell was going to predict that Ryan Ellis was going to go sour so fast? Like, literally nobody did that. And that's not something you can predict.
Right.
I'm not good. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and blame him for the stuff that he did besides the Risto thing. That was just terrible judgment. But no GM's record is perfect. Like it's like I think when Steve Eiserman was still GM, he gave up a first round pick for Braden Coburn. Like I'm like no GM's record is perfect, and Steve Eiserman's the best general manager in the league. Like, and it's not even close. Like I am okay if they keep it, but again, that's if they keep Dave Scott, or if they get rid of Dave Scott, they get rid of that whole front office. If they keep Chuck to kind of be a part of that transition, I'm okay. I've liked his drafting so far. Obviously, it's the results haven't been, but like honestly, like he still put together like a really good team. Is that one year you got Niskanen, you got Braun, he got Kevin Hayes, he addressed all of he bought out Andrew McDonald. Oh my god, like literally everyone
I was
forgets
actually
about
against that move. They would have
buying out
saved.
Andrew McDonald.
They would have saved more cap if they just stuffed them in the Phantoms.
But like, why even at that point? You're not going to play him. I mean, I'm not going to get mad at him again. I was fine. I'm perfectly fine with getting rid of Andrew McDonald. But you know what? Like, everyone's got, and I think everyone's just mad. They're looking at they want blood, and they know Dave Scott's not going anywhere, so they're looking to Chuck Fletcher. In my opinion, you can totally disagree with me.
Yeah, I'm way on the other side of the fence on that one. I think he's one of the worst GMs in hockey.
Okay,
I like the moves he made his first year, but ever since then, can't go with it.
All right, fair enough. It's I think he could have had a better deadline, but like in the moment of every trade besides the Risto, for the most part, I've been like, I can understand why. I can see the reasoning. I can catch out for this. I'm sure I will, but it's my personal opinion. I don't think he's the issue. I genuinely think it's Comcast, and he's trying to do the best he can with the plan that Comcast is laying out for him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't buy it.
All right. Hey,
let's,
you know what?
Let's jump subject here. We got 2 games to go. One more home game Friday against the Sens, and just like every year, they're going to do these team awards that they do ahead of the game. So let's do a little prediction. We'll go through the 5 awards and what do you think may happen. We'll start off with the Bobby Clark Award for MVP. So they're not letting media. They already told the media. The media is the people who vote on these awards.
Yep.
You can't vote for players who are no longer on the team. And that makes me crack up because this is Claude Giroux's award, and it's not even close. It's not even close.
You're right.
But you can't vote for G. So in my eyes, there's 2 possible candidates. And I go Carter Hart and I go Travis Sanheim. Carter Hart, I think he's had a really good bounce back season. And I think he's, before the last week or 2 that he played, I thought he played great all season long.
And I think the last week or 2, I think it was just he had some kind of injury going on. So I think that was definitely hindering him. But I 100% agree with, like, those 2 would probably be my picks. I would probably give the edge to Sanheim just because the team was so bad that Carter Hart's numbers don't necessarily back up his performance this season. So my pick would be Sanheim, whether I would imagine that's kind of the media's feeling. But you know what? We'll see. I think it's Sanheim, and I don't think it's close.
I think he has a very good case. I mean, he's a +10. He's the only plus player on the team besides Derek Brassard, who's also gone, and Noah Cates.
Yep.
And he's a +10. And I mean, our goal differential is awful. It's actually pretty surprising that he's been able to do that.
And his
playing next to Risto.
I was gonna say his defensive partner was Risto. That's very impressive.
Yeah.
Like, for the most part, I think plus minus is a bullshit stat, but like, honestly, if you
I don't want to say that, but I think it needs more context to it. When you put
Yes.
in to perspective that everyone else on the team has had a terrible plus minus. The Flyers as
Yeah.
a team, their goal differentials are we minus like 60?
I
I
think
should
it's
have
more
looked
than
that up.
I think it's more than that, actually.
Okay.
I think.
And
Um
the fact that he has a plus 10 is like astronomical.
I should rephrase. I think it's very telling in certain situations, but for most players I don't think it means much.
Okay.
Like if you look at I'm trying to find stats. Uh Nolan Patrick's year last year
Oh,
when he was what, a negative 20 at least? Like I'm trying to look, what is it? It was, oh, I'm
it
sorry,
was awful.
negative 30. It was negative
Okay.
30. That is very it's very telling. Like, okay, well, for the most part, it's a bullshit stat. Like negative 30, dude. Like you are just not playing well.
Mhm.
Uh, and so again, for the case of Sanheim, on a team this bad, if you're plus 10 playing with Rasmus Ristolainen, yeah, you're probably the MVP. And like I said, it's not close.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go Hart, but I definitely see the case with Sanheim, and I wouldn't be
Yeah.
disappointed if he gets it.
And
And that
honestly,
kind of jumps over. Oh no, go ahead.
I think that I think I would rather have Sanheim have it, just because I think he, and I like, not to say that Hart doesn't. I like the idea of Sanheim getting it. I think to
Okay.
reward him for that. I don't think this will be Hart's last chance for an MVP. I'll put it
Hope
that
not.
way.
Hope not.
And but but I think you put, if Sanheim is staying on your most, I mean, on a good team, he's probably on your second pair. Um, you know, and comes up on the top pair when someone gets hurt. Um, but I think that is kind of where, I don't foresee him kind of getting another shot at it. I'll say
Okay.
for the near future. So I think I would like to see him get it.
So we could jump to the Barry Ashby Award. That is best defenseman. We go in Sanheim again.
Yeah, Sanheim. I don't think we really need. I mean, you made your case. I made my case for MVP. Like, if he's the MVP, then I would hope he gets the Ashby. Like it
Yeah.
was. Um,
So next award, Yannick Dupree. This is given to the guy who shows the most character, dignity, and respect. I think I'm going Kevin Hayes for everything he's fought through this year to come back and play very well. The passing of his brother and all the different
yeah.
injuries.
So for me, I feel like that's better for the Gene Hart, and we'll go, like, I'll get into that later. For those same reasons, for character and dignity and all that, I probably go Cam. Um,
Okay.
I think, it kind of, I don't know. He plays a pretty clean game. Uh, he's kind of taken this in stride. He comes from a bad team to another bad team. Um, and he kind of just took it everything. Yeah, I mean, Kevin Hayes gave it to him for the game, but he still wore an A. Like, he was a very big presence on this team this season. Um, so I would go Cam, but I could absolutely see the argument for Kevin. And I say it's this literally the same reason I was going to lay out for the Gene Hart. Um,
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, but I mean, yeah, I mean, it would probably only be those two. Looking at the roster, it would probably, yeah, I don't really see anybody else that, like, kind of jumps out at me that hasn't been on the team for more than a day. So, yeah,
Keith Yandel for taking that scratching with,
no,
didn't throw a hissy fit about it.
sure. I mean, I'm sure he did, just not publicly.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
um, yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the team and I'm just like, nah, it's not. There's no one that I really. There's no one. There's literally no one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, so I'm going Hazy and you're going Cam.
I'm going Cam.
How about the Pelly Lindbergh Award for most improved?
I genuinely, I looked at this one. I have no damn idea.
I don't either. So I thought
I
about it, and the the two people who came to my mind are the two guys who I thought for MVP, which is Hart and Sanheim. but that's more so because it's bounce back, not most improved, like
So
I
I
differentiate the two.
for the
Like
same for the same reasoning, I was gonna say Oscar because he kind
okay,
of he didn't have a great year when he came back from Ewing sarcoma.
it was pretty
Um,
bad.
so but he actually he showed some pretty he showed he was pretty close to normal this season. He just didn't have he was doing everything right, just nothing was going in the net basically.
Right.
So that was kind of where I literally I don't really no one really impressed me at all. Like Frost is kind of just Frost right now. Kate's just got on the team. Bobby Brink just got on the team. Um, I'm
Yeah, like we
honestly
barely even saw Frost play last year. Like it's hard to give him most
exactly,
improved.
and Farabee, I think took a step back. I don't want to say a step back. I just don't think he had the.
I blame
I
the
don't know.
injury personally.
I would blame the injury, but I just don't think he had he was hot for a bit and then just went very cold. And that was just kind of it. And it's my pick would be Oscar, I think, because there's literally no one else on the team. I liked Sanheim last year. I thought he had a good year. Obviously, Hart had the rough year, so it would either to me it'd be either Oscar or Hart, and for the same reason, not necessarily most improved, but bounce back.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I didn't even think about Oscar. I think I might ride that pick.
Yeah, it's because literally, I don't really. There's nobody on the team.
Yeah,
There's
nobody really
nobody.
improved. We have a couple bounce back candidates, but
Yeah.
and then
So
for last but not least, the Gene Hart. I think I'm gonna go Scotty Lotz. He
so
gives it all
yeah
every single shift.
yeah. So I'll probably go with Kevin Hayes for the same reasons you laid out for the Yannick Dupree award. But Lawton is a very close second. Like I've said it on at length on this podcast, I really like what he brings to the team. Gives his all every shift, wears his heart on his sleeve. He's my pick for next captain. And I don't think it's particularly. I think it should be a team decision, and I really hope it's Lawton.
Hmm.
And honestly, I really do.
I think it's gonna
Um,
be Coots, and that bothers me. I want Lawton as
I mean,
well, but
I don't. It doesn't bother me that Coots would get it, but because he's been here the longest.
right.
Um, but I just hate the idea that it has to be the best player on your team.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree with
And
that. I also
I think
think
so,
Coots is just one of them quiet leaders, and we just had that with Giroux. And I would
yeah,
like Lawton's like the vocal guy, and I
yeah.
just I like that fit.
He just put and I know it was kind of like the comparison everybody made with him when he was drafted, but he's got a lot of Mike Richards qualities in terms of being a leader. He's vocal. He works his ass off in every shift. Yes, I see a lot of Mike Richards in that, and obviously he doesn't have the production that Richards did, but
Mhm.
I like it. I really think he would be a great captain, um, but like I said, I think at this point, it's whoever's the best player on the team.
Yeah. How about I guess we'll get into a little bit of individual players. How about JVR scoring 7 goals since the Flyers have been officially eliminated?
Oh my god, the most pointless hot streak I've ever seen in my goddamn life. Oh my god, I wanted to throw my phone at the wall. He scored what? The 9-2 game. He was the 2 goals that we scored. What the hell? Oh my! I mean, sure, yeah, dude, pad your stats so it makes us easier to trade you.
Right.
But my god,
That's the only good
you
thing out of
couldn't.
this.
Yes, but Jesus, I've never seen a more pointless hot streak. Honestly, that was horrible.
Mhm.
My God, JVR, what have you been doing? I genuinely, I there's a lot of things that made me mad this season. That might be the biggest one. I hated it. Oh my God. And I think he's tied for goals now on the team, which is just horseshit. Yes, him and Cam are tied for 23. Oh my God, I hate this team.
I know. It's pitiful. I will be pissed if he's on the team next year.
there's no shot, right? There's
Yeah, I don't
no
think so.
shot. I
I
mean,
just
I
hope
said that
I hope they can get rid of him without retaining salary. Like I'd rather give up a
there's no shot.
pick. I think. Well, actually, I won't say that. I
I'll
kind of
say,
think it depends what other moves they make.
yeah, yeah.
There, because as I think about it, there's no shot I would retain Cap. I'd rather just stuff him in the minors next year.
I wouldn't stop. I mean, like he's still like he still brings some kind of value to the lineup, but
But
he's
if you
just
stuff him in the
so
minors,
ski.
if you stuff him in the minors, you get 6.1 in Cap.
And I get that, but at the same, like I do think he's better than that. Like I don't. I mean, like, but again, it would depend on what they want to do. If they want to do this aggressive retool,
Yeah, that's where I was going with that.
yeah, like all right, then sure, then you can either keep them or you can stuff them in the
If
minors.
they're doing an aggressive retool, I need as much Cap as I can get. Like
Yeah,
I don't want to retain 50%.
I would, but you see, I would put him. See, at that point, I would give up a pick if I'm doing an aggressive retool. If I want to get him completely off the books, I would give up a pick. Because if you're doing an aggressive retool anyway, you're not going to have any picks left, so it's not
Mhm.
really going to matter. So, but if you do it the smart way, and then you
Hold on
stuff
to
him in
him
the
till the
minors,
deadline,
yes,
retain
and then you,
50%. Then you
yep,
actually get an asset coming back for him.
exactly. And then you, like I said, there is a very clear plan to, if they wanted to do a rebuild and not an on the fly rebuild like they did before, like a
Mhm.
proper bottoming out rebuild that Detroit just did that they're already getting out of. Like there is a very clear path to us being good again. It's just Comcast won't let it happen. And it
Right.
pisses me off. But yes,
I
if
feel
you,
like even majority of the fan base realizes we have to bottom out and do a full rebuild.
yes, and I'm
I
okay with
think
that.
majority
Like,
of the fan base accepts that at this point. It's like Dave
yes,
Scott and Chuck Fletcher are the only ones who don't.
Again, I don't even know if I know we have very differing opinions on Chuck Fletcher. I don't think it's Chuck Fletcher. I think it's the guy who's paying the bills. I think it's Comcast. They're like, no, we got to put asses in the seats, and the only way we're going to do that is so we, make this team at least compete for a playoff spot. But like honestly, you would make so much more money if you you just bottomed out, and
Mhm.
then because honestly, I would still go and buy tickets to watch a rebuild because you've got a bunch of young players coming in. Like I want to go and watch. Like even there's not really that many exciting players in the Phantoms. I want to go up to Lehigh and watch them play there. I want to watch the kids. I want to see what we have. But I'm not going to get that with the stupid
Yeah,
ass aggressive rebuild. Um, I've said aggressive rebuild so many times in like the
aggressive
last
retool, whatever you want to call it. That's what they called it.
yeah, whatever. It's so stupid. Like honestly, just bottom out. Like because honestly, what did how long did Detroit's rebuild take? Like 4 years maybe. It wasn't long.
2016, maybe it started either 16 or 17.
Yeah, and I think they started coming out of it last season, so like 3-4 years. Like obviously, like they weren't great last season, but they're making progress. Like definitely. They're absolutely making like honestly, there's oh my god, I hate this team. I hate this team. Why am I
Yeah,
a
now they
fan?
got Mo Sider. That dude's gonna be an absolute
He's gonna
stud.
be a stud. Oh my god. Like honestly, and I think Anaheim's even
Raymond,
kind of
Larkin, Bertuzzi. They got a
yep,
lot of pieces over there.
they do. And I think even Anaheim's coming out of it again. Like honestly, there's such like honestly.
Yeah, my thing
No.
is we started our rebuild before Detroit, Anaheim, like you mentioned, and they're
Yep.
already. I mean,
Yep.
they pretty much are better than us. Let's admit it.
Yep. Yep. No, well, you just look at the standings. We're honestly, we're
And
about
they're
to be
younger
passed
and they
by
got more money.
Seattle. We're
Yeah,
about to be passed by Seattle, and the team that Seattle drafted was laughable. Like honestly, like I saw a clear path. Once again, I saw a clear path to Seattle being a good team after their expansion draft. They opted to just not do that and go completely the opposite way. And like, okay, sure, we're gonna take your bad players, but we're not going to take any good ones. And if you want us to take your more expensive players, you have to pay us.
yep.
So, and you know what? There is that is not an unreasonable plan. It's not.
I like it.
Because
I like that plan.
it is. And honestly, if it makes sense, because you know what, I thought they were crazy at the time. They hired Dave Haxtell as their head coach. Now they're in the bottom 5 of the league, and now they're going to get a damn good draft pick. So you know what? Hats off
That
to
Matty
Seattle.
Beniers kid looks pretty good too.
He does look very good. But you know what? Seattle is about to pass us in the standings after 1 year, and that team is horrible. So hate them.
So like, yeah, going back, like we have this draft next year, the 2023 draft.
Yeah.
Supposedly, this is the best draft we've seen in 20 years since the Richards and Carter draft. We should be loading up on picks. We should be trading
Should
every.
be.
I would trade Cam Atkinson tomorrow
Yeah.
if I could. If you see his
I
numbers away from Claude Giroux and the 3 major goal droughts he's had this year, I'd trade him
mhm.
tomorrow. And
Yep.
I like Cam. I liked that trade. I still like that trade. But you could probably get something for Cam before it's too late.
So let me ask you this. Is there anybody on this team right now that's untouchable to you?
Uh, if am I GM? Am I Chuck
You're
Fletcher?
you're Chuck Fletcher. Is there anybody all right, let's say you've said to hell with the aggressive retool.
I'm blowing it
You're
up like I want.
you're blowing it up like you want. Is there anybody that's untouchable for you?
I would hold on to Hart and Farabee for at least a little bit and try seeing how long this rebuild's actually going to take.
Mm-hmm.
If it's going to take 6 or 7 years, then I trade them guys. But like I'd
Yeah.
probably hold on to them for maybe 2 years and just see
I don't
maybe this is a
think it would
shorter
take
term rebuild.
because like honestly, like everyone's kind of got the system down for a rebuild. It seems like, it's like a 3-4 year deal. You bottom out for that time. You get a top 5 picks in every draft. See, for me, like I agree. Hart and Farabee. I think I would add York.
Yeah, there's some young guys I would add just because it
Yeah,
doesn't make sense. You want to have them on your roster and see if they can come to their potential. Frost, York,
yeah.
Cates.
See, I'm over Frost at this point.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
yeah, I'm over. I've been over Frost this whole year. I doing better as of late, but I'm over him. I'm sick of. Like, I'm not waiting around for you anymore.
I feel like it would be more beneficial, like if you're blowing it up, to just play him at 3C for the year, or maybe even 2C if
Oh
you could
yeah, I
trade
mean,
Coos.
sure, yeah, but there's just no get. I don't know what you. I don't know, like how long are you willing to wait for that? Is kind of where I've kind of been at. And maybe he turns into like a Scott Lawton type where, he's not going to put up a bunch of points on the board, but he's a great player for you. Like he's a good utility guy. But I don't know. Like I feel like a Scott Lawton kind of player is not. I feel like remember when like Wayne Simmons was getting traded and everyone's like, yeah, like it makes sense for us to move on from him right now, but he's the kind of guy that everybody wants and everybody needs.
Mm-hmm.
Feel like that's what you have in Scott Lawton right now.
100%.
So and maybe Frost can turn into that, but as of right now, I've seen no evidence of it. So,
Going
but
back
yeah,
to your question, yeah, I'm keeping most of the young guys. Like I'm keeping York, Zamula, Adder, like all but like I'd trade Provy, I'd trade Sanheim, I'd trade Risto,
yep.
um, Cam, Coots. I don't think you could trade that Hayes contract, so you're probably stuck with him.
And
I'd
honestly,
probably
I'm fine with that. I think he's
I
a good guy to have. I think he's a good vet to have around.
we touched
Um,
on it a little bit earlier. Like I would keep JVR until the deadline
mhm.
and then retain 50%, and then you're going to get a good asset back because his cap hit's going to be small as hell.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking.
Um,
I think Hart, York, Tippett, Cates, and Brink are the only. And like I'm putting Forrester in that as well.
mhm.
Other
Would
than
you
that,
trade Scotty
everyone.
Lawton? That's a tough one
That is a
because,
tough
like
one.
you
It
said,
depends.
everyone
It
would
de-
want him.
It depends on what you get back.
Uh-huh.
Honestly, like I would
Like, he's a
listen to
good leader.
offers.
He's a guy that I want my young guys to learn from, but at the same
Yeah.
time, everyone wants him. Someone would
So
overpay
I
for him.
I would listen to offers, but I'm not actively shopping,
Okay.
if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
but other than that, everyone else is for sale.
So you would trade Joel and Carter?
No, I'm sorry. I did put Hart in there, but I did forget Joel. I was looking through it and I missed over. Is Farabee even on here? Yeah, there he is. Yeah, so Farabee, Hart, Brink, Cates, Tippett. I'll include Lawton in that because I'm not actively shopping him. And York and
Trading TK?
I'm trading TK. Honestly, I'd listen to offers on him this offseason.
Okay.
Not actively shopping, but if someone's got an offer for me, I'm listening.
Right. If
But
if we were blowing it up, I'd probably trade TK, but if we're doing this aggressive retool, I probably want him on the team
yeah,
next year.
yeah, he's a good second line guy if he's got good line mates. But like you said, you've got to if you're doing a rebuild, trade him. If you're not, I guess you got to keep him. But
Hmm.
but yeah, um, yeah,
Jump into a couple positives. Felix Sandstrom starting to get a couple more starts lately. Thought he
he's
played really well last night.
I thought thought he had a rough start to the game, but he absolutely finished strong. I
Okay.
thought, the first goal for Gustafson, I'm not gonna 100% blame him because he was getting screened pretty bad, and the team was just not even paying Gustafson any mind. So he was wide open. The second goal he should have had the Hayes breakaway he should have had. You got to close that 5-hole sooner.
That
Um,
commentary was interesting. He was saying like a lot of guys are shooting at that particular spot on breakaways now. I haven't seen that.
Me neither. I must have missed that on the broadcast.
Like it's that
Um,
weird spot right, not completely 5-hole, but like in between your stick and the right
yeah,
pad. So when they go to drop the pad, it sneaks under. I haven't seen guys do that much.
and I mean, like, hey, if it works, it works. But
Yeah.
regardless, I think you still got to close that sooner.
Hmm.
Um, like if you get beat on some nasty move or someone rips it top shelf, then all right, fine, I get but you can't get beat 5-hole. Like you just can't.
Right.
Um, like if you get opened up, then all right, yeah, sure. But like it was just there was no move, there was no nothing. It was just a clean shot through the 5-hole. The DeBrincat goal, I'm not blaming on him at all. That was a great pass by Kaner. That was and DeBrincat just absolutely unleashed one.
Yep.
Other than that, kid played a phenomenal game. I'm not gonna, and I think that's the kind of game that, like, honestly, I think I would have. I think I have Jones start tomorrow against Winnipeg,
Okay.
and then I think you play him against Ottawa.
I'd have Sandstrom start the last two. I've seen
I
everything I
mean,
need to know from Martin Jones.
so I 100% agree with you, but I know that they're not going to do that. So
Right.
that's why I'm saying you play Jones
Okay.
tomorrow, and then you play Sandstrom on Friday. Just that way, Sandstrom can kind of get his confidence up against the lesser teams of the league.
Hmm.
Obviously, I still think Winnipeg is a lesser team, but I think they're the better out of Ottawa and them. But yeah, it's yeah, man.
Yeah,
I
talking about
honestly
Winnipeg, I got a question for you. If they
okay.
blow it up, are you interested in Shifley?
Depends on the price.
Okay.
I'm not
Uh,
overpaying for him.
right. He's had a down year, but like I think I would take that chance if we're doing this aggressive retool because
So
it sounds like they're going to be one of the teams that actually fully rebuilds and blows it up.
yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it depends on their. I mean, that's. I feel like they're really gonna. I feel like there's gonna be a market for him, and I feel like that's just gonna
Mhm.
drive price. And I don't really want to pay that much for him. Now, maybe with his down year, maybe I'm trying to look up his stats right now. Um, my phone is moving aggressively slow, but yeah, it depends on what the Yeah, man, and then also he kind of like he does kind of play. He plays kind of a dirty. I don't want to say a dirty game, but he does get suspended quite a bit.
Mhm.
So that's another thing that worries me. Uh, I mean, again, it depends. Depending on the cost, I would make the deal.
I shouldn't say down year because he's got points,
Yeah,
but
but
his
compared to what to,
analytic numbers are in the toilet, and people are thinking, all right, this is going to lead to a decline sooner rather than later.
yeah. How old is he? He's
Uh
29. 29.
yeah, he was in the same draft as Coots.
Yeah, he's 29. So I said depending on the price, I would take him, but I'm not again. I'm not. I mean, I'll call and ask, but like if it's something, if it's like a pick and a player and a prospect, I'm not doing it.
Okay.
Maybe a pick and a player I might go for, but I'm not. I'm not getting into a bidding war over him. I'll say that.
Hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. Let's say we have a top 5 pick. I don't know if I would trade that top 5 pick for him.
Oh, I'm not. No, I'll trade next. See, I don't even know if I would trade next.
I
See, you know
know.
what? I might trade the G pick next year.
I
I
would trade
might
the G
trade
pick
that.
this year
Well, no, but I'm
if
saying
it has value around the league.
yeah. Wait, are you saying like the one that we got for this year, or are you saying I would trade the one from next year this year?
I would trade the 2024 first this offseason if I could.
Okay, yeah, I'm saying I'm agreeing with you, but I'm saying like I would move that pick. Like I would move. I was just saying the pick from next season. I'm moving.
Okay.
I would so I would absolutely move it this offseason if you're going an aggressive retool. If you're doing the rebuild, then I'm keeping the pick.
Right.
100%.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, it's yeah. Yeah, I'm yeah, no, and honestly thinking I don't even know if I really want like yeah, I'm changing my mind. I don't really want Shifley.
No?
No, not really.
If they were aggressive retooling, I'd be all in. I really like him as a first. Well, I shouldn't say all in. I'd want to know what the price is, but like if he's your
Yeah,
first line center, then you go Shifley, Coots, Hayes. Like I think that'd be pretty dirty.
it would be. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. I've never been a huge fan of him, but I mean he does put up points, so I can't get too mad. I can't like say he's like a bad player or anything. It's just, I don't know. I don't know.
My main target would
Yeah.
be Barzell. If he's somehow available, his name's kind of been floated out there the past 2 years, and starting to hear his name more often.
I mean, I feel like if you're targeting anybody this season, it's got to be Johnny Hockey. He's going to be a free agent. Why don't I like? I
Well,
would
you have to
assume he's
do
going to
way
be a free
more than
agent.
Johnny Hockey.
Oh
Like
no no
that's a
no! But I'm saying
star.
like for sure. But I mean I should say that like that is the guy that I'm like that's my main target because obviously
Okay.
you're not going to get this that level. You're not going to get two guys that level of talent in the same offseason. It's very rare that that happens, in my opinion. Like the last one, the one that jumps to mind is Parise and Suter, but I don't. I think there was one after that that I'm not remembering. Um,
Okay.
so I don't. So I think you do Johnny Hockey and then you kind of bolster with other guys, but again, you need the cap space for that.
Yeah.
Um, so
I would be
that's
pissed
kind of
if
right. And
that's
we
all
have,
they did. If they
oh, I'm
only
not saying
signed
that's,
Johnny Hockey, I'd freak the hell out.
yeah, I'm not saying like that's the only move you make. I'm saying like that's like your main focus. You get Johnny Hockey. You get
Okay.
that because he's an elite level talent that you're now missing because you don't have Claude Giroux. And I think him and John, I think him and Coots would be a good duo. I
Right.
think. Um,
Austin Matthews, 60th of the season.
honestly, like I didn't think I was going to see those kind of numbers for a long time. The last person to do that was Stammer, and like honestly, like that was like 2011, I
12.
think.
Yeah, 11, 12
Yeah,
season.
like man, you like literally, it's been 10 years and like you haven't seen numbers like that. I hope he continues it, like kind of over the next couple of years. I love God. Ovi's got 50 goals again this season. My guy going for Gretzky. Um,
I Is Ovi done for the season? For the regular season?
Dude, that ride into the boards did not look good. That looked like a broken collarbone.
I feel like I read today he was done for the regular season.
Did you see his spill into the boards?
Yeah.
Dude, that's a broken collarbone to me. And like, I mean,
They're
obviously,
they're
like Ovi,
saying we'll see about the playoff opener. He is done for the regular season.
I definitely think that's it. Not to say he wouldn't play through it. I'm just saying that's 100% a broken collarbone.
Huh.
100% a broken collarbone.
Sign you up for the Flyers medical staff.
Hey man, it's better than what we got apparently. Holy shit.
How about this kid line that they're rolling out there? Cates, Frost, and Tippett.
I will, and that's what I was getting into earlier. Like when I said, like, yeah, I haven't been super impressed with Frost except for these last couple games. I think it's a good line to roll into next season with. Obviously, like, you know, lines get hot during, you know, a season and then can falter over the next year. But I have like thoroughly enjoyed, like, they dominated Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought they were pretty damn good against Chicago. But man, like, that line was like good as hell too. And like Cates playing with as much confidence as he did. You kind of got Frost opening up a little bit more offensively, and you give some creative guys to pair with Tippett. Like, honestly, like, I think that's a good solid line that is going to give good production next season. You know, barring everyone on that line making the team next year.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is a very solid foundation to start. Maybe, like, I don't know if I put him on the second line as of right now because I don't know what the moves are going to be for this offseason, but that's definitely, at least at the very least, got to be your third line.
Right. I'm curious what their plans are with Wade Allison.
Man,
we talked about it a couple episodes ago. That right wing, it's just clogged.
But that's the thing though. Like, he's just so, he just can't stay healthy. And I love Wade Allison.
I wonder if it's just kind of the thing where it's like, maybe they accept that he's never going to play 82 games. And it's like, they just never kind of pencil him in as an everyday regular. Like, all right, if you're healthy, you're going to make the team, you're going to be in the lineup.
But with all the stuff that's happening with the Flyers medical staff right now, I'm wondering if maybe, like, I don't want to say misdiagnosing it, but they're like kind of, I don't know, like missing something.
He's been injury prone even in college. That's why he stayed all 4 years.
And for sure. But I'm also like thinking, like, hey man, like, you're coming into the NHL, you're playing for this team that's got a pretty bad medical staff as it is, and I don't know, like, I can't help but think they're missing something just based off of like this season. Like, I just, all these possible. Like, I don't know. I'm thinking worst case scenario, I feel like, for him. But like, I don't know. I don't know, man. I feel like they're missing something. I feel like something's going wrong there. I just have no faith in the medical staff right now. I don't. And I don't really know how, other than, like, they could change the medical staff this offseason and have the same issues, but I don't know.
Someone told me they actually changed a lot of the medical staff and doctors 2 years ago. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. But honestly,
if I want to go back to the old ones.
Yeah, literally. Because I've never seen this before. Like, honestly,
no, this is terrible.
This is awful. Like, God.
They might have the same doctors as the Eagles. Remember them, like 3 years we were getting season ending.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they did. Just stole the Eagles doctors that they fired.
Yeah. God, man, why can't we have nice things?
I know.
We're nice guys.
Sixers are about to choke. Phillies are up 10-2.
Yeah, but they were also losing. So, like, almost every game going into this, like, Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm like lower on the Eagles than a lot of people, so I'm not in a good place. I'm not.
I like Jalen Hurts, but it worries me that there's a year worth of film out on him.
Yeah, that's. See, you know
and
what?
His
but I will
suspect at best.
Yeah, his arm isn't great. I will say he's a very athletic guy. He always seems like he's looking to improve. Um, I just don't think he's a franchise level talent that everybody says. I'm
Yeah, I'd agree with
skeptical of
that.
that. Yeah, I think he'll be good, but I
Just not
just
good
don't
enough.
not yeah, kind of like okay, you're kind of like a middle of the pack QB.
Hmm.
Not anything that's gonna win us a championship,
Right.
in my opinion. And I hope to God I'm wrong,
I
but
do too.
I don't think he's it.
Any final words on the Flyers before we get going?
Thank God the season's almost over. I am so excited for what the like honestly like I almost get more excited for the off season than I do the regular season. I don't know what it is. I love it's like my own it's like be a GM mode in NHL. Like I just love it. Like I love making deals. It's exciting to talk about, trying to put together a roster. Um I live for like draft day, all the rumors. So I'm very excited to go into the season, go into the off season. Um I don't know, like I'm excited. I'm excited to get the season over with. Even if I don't agree with what they're going to do, I'm excited for what they're going to do. As much as I hate this team, I still do love this team.
Right.
It's
I'm right there with
uh,
you. Hopefully, last game's Friday. Hopefully we wake up to Monday morning press conference and everyone loses their job. That's what I'm hoping for.
that's what I'm hoping for, man. Like honestly, like just do a whole rehaul. Elon Musk, screw Twitter, buy the Flyers.
I actually saw someone
God,
say that. They were like, should have bought the Flyers just because he could have took over Flyers Twitter, and then Flyers
yeah,
Twitter's so crazy that Flyers Twitter could have took over Twitter. And
buy the team, give it back to the Snyders, and then just tell Comcast to screw off.
yeah. What do you got going on the rest of the week? Anything good?
Um, yeah, it's kind of hanging out. Might go see the Northman
Working?
this week.
Okay.
Working. Yeah, might go see the Northman this week. Um, yeah, man, not a whole not a whole too lot, but you know what? It is what it is. We're just grinding,
Just grinding. Sounds good.
just grinding.
All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to episode 6. We'll be back next week with episode 7. If you're watching on YouTube and you're still here, please leave us a like and a subscribe. Helps us out a ton. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, please rate us 5 stars. That also helps us out. All right. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
See ya.